o'clock. We are now moving on into the board meeting. I'll stop.
Okay. Control. We remind everyone to speak into your mics, make sure they're on. Testing.
We're good to go, and we are now at 6 o'clock. We're now entering into the regular session at this time of the board of the Toltec School District number 22. So everybody's trying to get their computers up at this time. We'll let everybody do that. And we'll be in You're telling me you're into your computer, you're not going to do it. So at this time, we'll all stand up for the pledge of allegiance. Jim, go ahead. Yes. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We'll have the pleasure, treasurer pleasure.
As an adult and a treasurer, I am committed to search for all the talents, skills, and intelligence that exist in all children and youth. I believe all children are capable of success, no exceptions.
On the side. All right. Let's everybody have a seat and let's start this. All right, Superintendent. Did we get a roll call, please?
Certainly. Mark Lindgren.
Here.
Steve Courtwright.
Here.
Tim Payson.
Here.
Bill Doherty.
Here.
James Gray.
Present.
All present.
Okay, what I need from here on is D is approval of. Oh. And yellow. All right, so D, we move on to approval of the agenda. Do I get a motion for approval of the agenda?
I motion to approve the agenda.
All right, Mr. Casey has made a motion to approve the agenda. Do I have a second?
I'll second. We'll second.
Okay, well, I have Steve Courtwright and James Gray just seconded at the same time. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All against? Motion passes. We must have that too. All right, we move on to approval of the action items. Consent items. If everybody is good for that, I'll need a motion to approve the action item consent items.
I motion to approve the action consent item.
All right, we have Mr. Casey also made a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll send it second.
All right, Mr. Dudley has made a second. All in favor, say aye. All against? Motion passes. We move on to information session items. And I pass it on to you, the superintendent's summary.
Thank you. Lauren Tapia, Toltec Elementary School Junior High English Language Arts and Writing teacher, was recognized during the 2021 Arizona Rural Schools Association 26th Annual Conference in Flagstaff on September 17th as Pinal County Rural Teacher of the Year. We congratulate Mrs. Tapia for this outstanding accomplishment. We are proud of you, Laura Tapia. Let's take a moment to congratulate her. Then I sent out a letter to our families on the 15th of September with the following changes due to our Pinal County Health Services continuing to report that there is a high transmission level of COVID-19 within our district boundary area and in the surrounding areas too. Students and staff are the only persons allowed on our campuses. All meetings will be held virtually and all activities, events will be canceled. Student sports will continue through the end of this quarter, but will be discontinued after fall break.
Excuse me, what did you say? I didn't hear what you said.
I'm sorry, this is a public meeting of the governing board held publicly, but if you want to participate, there is a.
I didn't hear what you just said. That's all I'm asking.
This is just a meeting conducted in public.
Well, on public.
And these changes are in place until we receive reports that reflect improvement that propel us from the high transmission level to a level that is considered much safer for students and staff at that time. I will send out another notification to our families. We continue to hope for improvement and a return to normal operations. I will say that the report that was sent to us and sent out today did show some improvement. So we've gone from red to the orange in the percentage of people who are positive with COVID in our district boundary area. I want to say thank you to the Picacho School District Transportation Department for providing transportation for our student athletes for the past few weeks, so we can continue to participate in games on campus, which was impossible due to staff shortages. We didn't have the staff to transport our students, and so Picacho provided that transportation. When my husband was driving us, he did so for free. He volunteered his time. We appreciate that. Fall break is October 4th through the 14th, and school resumes on Monday, October 18th. District office will be closed Thursday of this week through Thursday, October 14th for the flooring renovation. The district office will reopen on Monday, October 18th, following fall break. Some district office staff members will be working from home. Most will be taking vacation leave. During the second week of fall break, Monday, October 11th through Thursday, October 14th, registration is accepted on a first-come, first-served basis for student tutoring session, a week of student tutoring. Transportation will be provided, we'll have free meals, and the host will be Toltec Elementary School. And at this point, we have 67 students that are registered. We attended the ASBA, Arizona School Board Association, 45th Annual Law Conference in Scottsdale on September 8th through the 10th. Along with myself was President Mark Lindgren and Board Member James Gray. And I will hand it over to them to share some important conference session components with the other board members.
All right, there at the law conference, they had a lot of different issues pertaining to COVID.
mask mandates and the like. So rather than just go back to what you found out, we were trying to find out what mask mandates were, where they were coming from, what people were going to be doing. And then they were at off because there was huge group of lawsuits going back and forth. And at that time, they were up in the air, had no idea what it was going to be. And so, but as of lately, we did that last thing. So the last thing they did was they gave the mask mandates back to us. So the schools, the different districts could handle their own mandates because everybody's different. As you saw, you looked at the amount of COVID outbreaks in each school. Ours is lower than some of the others. So why shouldn't we be able to handle our own stuff? It's not all set in stone. It's not all the same. And that's why I said that was one of the big things that came out of that is we were just looking for our own ability to deal with stuff on our own. So I'm glad that came to pass and we were able to deal with the whole have a little bit of our own self-worth and be able to hang things on the road without someone else telling us. Another thing, did you have anything else to do? Because I know we had John Ratzenberger here, he had some stuff to say, and I'm sure we were all happy.
Now, is everybody familiar with who he is? Did you ever see Cheers?
Yes.
You know that old man. I'm gonna pass things around. They say if you need proof, I was there and I have pictures to show it. I just want to encourage everyone in this room, try to attend next year. It blew me away. They had 4 guest speakers. He was one of them. They were fantastic. Some of the things they talked about just are things I normally wouldn't think of. There was a gentleman there who spoke of being prepared, basically, for being sued. Be prepared to talk to the press. Be prepared to tell the truth. Tell the truth all the time. Tell it quickly.
Amen.
It was just very
We're public meeting.
very interesting. So, next year if you can attend, I'd love to see a little more.
Thank you. I do have one to just add to what Mark was saying. ASBA did participate in a lawsuit, and the ruling that came out today from the judge was that the school boards can decide or make those decisions for themselves on mask mandates. So we're pleased with that. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Now, after that, we are going to move on to the Director of Finance.
Okay.
Can you give us some information that we need?
Maybe. All right, so you have in front of you the finance report for this meeting, and I just want to draw your attention to a few things in that report. I did, one thing that I want to draw your attention to is currently we are showing a budget balance, a budget capacity of negative $666,183.33. That is prior to us moving some salaries over to the ESSER 3 grant. I wanted to present this to you just so you guys could see where we would be prior to moving those funds over to the ESSER 3 grant. So I wanted you guys to see that first. We also will see an increase in our budget capacity when we do our December revision, because we have increased our average daily membership, and our enrollment has increased over where we thought it was going to be from the very beginning of the year. So we wrote our budget based on 832 students, I think was the total number that we wrote our budget for. We did that August revision. We are seeing that our average daily membership, we believe, is around 906. So we've seen a dramatic increase since then. It's still not back to pre-COVID numbers, and still not as high as we hoped it would be, but it is increasing, and so we will be seeing some changes to that. So the next report that you see next month, that will look very different as I transfer over some salary expenditures over to the SR3 grant, and we prepare for the increase in our budget when we have the membership. If you want to scroll down to the grants portion of the report, the biggest thing that I really want to mention to you really quick is that the building C and D roof, we have received our bids back. We have submitted the application all to the school facilities board based on that bid, and we are waiting for them to give us approval. And as soon as they give us approval, we will get scheduled for that project to move forward. So that one is, we do have the bids back for that. You will be seeing that as soon as the school facilities board approves it, we will bring it to you for final approval because you also have to approve that. But right now we are waiting for school facilities board approval. The doors and the hardware for the doors, that project we are planning on sending out next month for bids. So perhaps at the next meeting, that one more bids back, we'll see where that timeline plays out. But we are planning on sending that out for bid in October. And the weatherization project for here at Arizona City is currently with the architect for design. We are waiting for that to come back from design so we can move to the next portion of that project. And another thing that we are adding on that is not on here yet is we are starting the process to get the roof replaced or redone here at Arizona City also. So we have several projects going forward, and we're just hoping to get them rolling so we can get our facilities taken care of.
Which building was that?
That would be this facility, the Arizona City facility. Any questions? There will be a time for you.
It's not that time. Not yet.
Well, why did you ask for any questions?
No, he's talking to the board. This is the board. Does anybody have any questions at all? The finance officer, the board? If not, then we do move on to number 5, which is call to the public. We have a call to the public.
I do not have any paperwork for anyone to speak.
Since we have no paperwork for calls to the public, then we will move on to action items. Action items number 6A, the ASBA Policy Advisory, Volume 33, number 3.
We have this is a second reading. We had the first reading last month. This is a second reading of the recommended policies that need to be either added or revised or tweeted by the Arizona School Board Association.
Has everyone gone through this, read this on their own time? I've been going through this with me a bit of a headache, but scrolling through that. But we all, I understand that it's a policy, it's something that we have to kind of know about, and then we kind of have to we approve it because legally it's kind of binding. As long as everyone has read and understands I can ask the board to have, if they have any comments, please let me know what you have right now, so we can address them at this moment. If not, we'll move on to the motion.
It's only 122 pages long.
No, that's all.
A mere 122 pages.
Please don't make us read that. Please.
That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking. We have it in the moment in time. I've gone through it and my brain hurts, but I have If anybody has anything, no, anybody?
You went down a motion, Mark?
Yes, if we do not have anything else to speak about, anything.
I move we approve ASBA policy advisory 680 through 711.
Oh, that was really,
No, this is volume
Very nice.
33, this is volume
Very nice.
33, number
mhm.
Okay.
He did it all.
all.
He did it all, but in actually, he made them all. Policy advisory 680 through 711.
That's what's in the contract.
Yes.
So are we approving volume 33, number 3?
Yes. So Mr. Kingston has made a motion to approve the ASBA policy advisory volume 33, number 3. You want a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. Great. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All against? Motion passes. We move on now to the 2021, the 2021 annual finance report. I'd like to go to Mr. McCain, who can give us some information on this. I really appreciate it.
All right. So this report is due, as it says in your agenda, it's due every year before October 15th. So that's why it is before you today. It is the annual financial report for the previous fiscal year. So the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2021. And just a few highlights that I wanted to mention to you is our total M&O expenditures are $5,641,597. And it is going to give us a carryover of $334,303, which is a little more than we had originally expected. Looking at, if you look in the report, it'll be your third page, but on the bottom it's 2 of 9. It shows that if you look at the numbers compared to the prior year, you can see where our differences were in our expenditures, and that the instruction, 1,000 instruction, if you look over to the actual, we spent $1,686,919 compared to last year, and the previous year, of $2,271,060. And that difference is that we transferred a large number of salaries over to the enrollment stability grant that we received from the government. That was a grant that was originally supposed to fund us at 95% of our enrollment from the previous year, and then they changed that. I know some of you were on the board at that point. They changed that to only giving us $500 per current enrollment student, and so it was roughly $430,000, if I remember correctly, that we were able to transfer those salaries over to the enrollment stability grant and help us make it through the school year with a reduced budget. So that's the majority of the difference. The rest of the numbers are actually very similar year to year. But that number was a drastically different number from the previous year. Also moving through, the district total assets increased by $191,282. That primarily came from the fact that we did a major roofing project on the Toltec Gymnasium. And also we purchased a truck, and we also disposed of the truck. If you remember us selling that truck back in March, I think it was when you approved it in May was when we actually were able to sell it. So that shows that our final capital assets is $28,291,691 as of the end of fiscal year 21. And last thing that I wanted to point out was that we did also pay off an additional $420,000 worth of bond debt. Our current bond indebtedness is $435,000, and I believe that will finish off this next year. We'll be completely paid off, and we will be out of bond debt, which will be a good sale to when we go to another bond. We can say we no longer carry that bond debt. This is the bond that we're asking for from the public.
This sounds good. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. McKinney? before we move on? If there are no questions from Mr. McKee, then we shall move on to have a motion for B, 2021 Annual Finance Report. A motion to
I'd like to motion we approve 2021 annual financial report.
All right, I have a motion by Mr. Gray.
I'll second that motion.
We have a second by Mr. Corbeck. All in favor, say aye. All against? Motion passes. Now move on to the American Tower contract, and I will again refer back to Mr. Kane. Mr. Kane.
You know, I don't necessarily like to talk that much, just to let you know. If you remember last month, we brought this to you and it was approved by you, and upon further investigation into this agreement with them and asking for a little bit of clarification from American Tower, which they did not give us previously, they were not very forthcoming in the details. The line that alerted me to ask more questions was in the second part where it says option 2 lump sum payment, and then the next paragraph it says, by doing so, American Tower retains the right to operate the tower until such time as it provides notice of termination or abandons the site. I did not notice that line previously, and so I asked more questions, of course. And I basically asked the question, does this give them right to our property in perpetuity? And the answer to that question is yes. So that would, by agreeing to this $184,500, we are giving them right to that property in perpetuity till they no longer need that site. Beyond our current contract, which is until 2035.
You said again, this is right to life.
It gives them right to that property in perpetuity. Yes. So until they determine they no longer want to use it. And we have no other rights at that point in time. We just let them utilize that site going forward. So my response to the lady was, well, I need to take that back to my board because we did not understand that at the time. I don't feel right moving through this contract without them having that information. And so I wanted to bring that to you to ask your input and what direction you wanted to go. Our options are to go with one of these options, which was, one of them was adding 40 more years to the term, which at the board meeting last time did not seem favorable. The lump sum payment of $184,500, or we can leave the contract as it is to set to sunset in 2035.
Well, we're not here for the project, so that means that part of it. The rest of it is just what behooves us is to figure out what the contract is going to look like going forward.
I think at this point, we leave it as it is.
Anyone else have a comment?
As the finance director, I would agree, Tim, and I think that to me is probably the best option. I think my personal feelings is that giving them the right to our property in perpetuity or even extending it 40 additional years, both seem very extreme.
I agree, very extreme.
This new clause, does that apply for any of the options we choose, or just the buyout?
That particular option is just the buyout. So you have basically three options. You have the option to extend it 40 more years, an additional 40 years. You have the option of this buyout, which gives them the land in perpetuity, or we maintain our status with our current contract that sunsets in 2035. The one thing that you do need to realize is that this contract, and I mentioned this before, this contract was written very beneficial toward American Tower and not toward us in any way, shape, or They do have the right to completely cancel the contract without any penalty. We do not. So it does not, it was written very favorable for them and not for us. That was prior to my time and prior to our superintendent's time. I cannot answer the question.
Ex-superintendent. The software expired on the 15th of September, so I don't see anything wrong with coming back with another proposal for them if you don't. Option 2 is obviously off the table, but if you'd like to maybe entertain something different than option 1 offers.
We can ask that Tim look into a different offer. At the moment, I'm saying to leave it as is, because we do not know what other offer there is out there at the moment, if there is any. They will only make it in their own favor, they will not make it in ours, guaranteed. So anything else coming from them, I have a feeling will just be bad or worse than we got now. And so I'm not trying to change anybody's mind. That's just how I think. That's my thought about it. They're not going to do anything better. They'll only want to make things worse. So I kind of looking at something that says we leave it as is.
I think the only position we have straight is the female. Otherwise, we're just looking back. Well, currently have that position.
Any more discussion? I'm going to get that one off the table. There's no more discussion. I would like to have a motion for the American Tower contract to be kept as is, not changed. With that, what's your motion?
I move that we keep the American Power contract as is.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, so, Mr. Dowry has made a motion, Mr. Forbright made a second, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All against? Motion passes. Now we move on to D. Is that still yours, Jim?
Probably.
Yeah, I put it there, I think we moved it there.
Okay, so we have a lot of copiers in the district, and they're all very, very, very old. And they are breaking down continually, and 2 of them have over 5 million copies. One of those 2 has over 7 million copies on the copier itself. And it is costly to keep them running, and it also is a major inconvenience when they are breaking down for the staff. So our current copier company, Digital Imaging Systems, has sent us a lease offer to replace all the machines in our current, I'll call them a fleet, with new machines. And it is the lease is included in there. There's actually 2 leases. One is for the equipment, one is for the software. There's 2 slight differences in those 2 leases. The lease for the equipment, the end of the buyout, if we chose to buy out again, would be based on the current value of those machines. The software is a $1 buyout. The reason it was done this way is because, one, the lease would be a little bit lower, but also the company let us know that this is what most schools seem to be going to, is that after 3 years, we would not buy out those copiers. We would sign a new 3-year lease where they would bring in brand new machines again once again for us. So we never end up in a situation where we have machines that are absolutely ancient and breaking down continually. They would all have a 3-year warranty on them. So at the end of the 3 years, they take those machines away, we get 3 new machines. New machines with a new 3-year warranty, so they're always covered under warranty going forward, and we're not constantly repairing and paying for repairs on these. The software, however, is a $1 buyout because there's no sense in us continuing to buy the software over and over and over again. We just buy the software once and we have it forever. So that is what is before you. Total equipment cost for the equipment itself is $62,399. We would be doing that on a 3-year lease, so it would be split up. I think it's on here. Monthly is $1,759.65 monthly for the equipment. The software would be on the $1 buyout would be $255.25 a month.
Anyone have any questions?
Now it's 9 copies.
Yeah, 4, 7, 9 copies.
And that's all maintenance.
Yep, that's the maintenance agreement. And everything.
If these people approach us with a contract, is there a local one? Do we have an option with a local vendor?
The company that we are using is, I believe, in Tucson, if I'm not mistaken. And they are about as local as we can get in this. This is also based off of a cooperative contract, which allows us to go this direction. If we go with a company that is not on a cooperative contract, then we have to take it out for multiple bids. We have to do multiple RFPs and to go with that. And usually your cooperative contracts are very competitive pricing. They're usually very competitive.
This particular company has been servicing our copiers for years. And as a principal here at Broken Down, he not only brought in another one that, can take away from other school district after every year. And then he brought me an extra one too, because he knew the need was really large and he didn't charge the district any additional funds. He knew that the district wasn't in a position. And I really appreciated his generosity and seeing our needs. So this company's done well by us for many years. Yes.
Oh, yes, there's one thing that I heard, if I'm wrong, that anyone using the copier will not print.
That is correct. Part of this process, part of this that we're working on is actually eliminating all the individual printers that we have throughout the district. So we go to centralized printing. And one of the arguments that some teachers have had in the past was that they had confidential information that they could not just send to a printer. This software that we'll be utilizing allows them to send to the printer, but it will not print until they go to the copier, to the printer itself, punch in their code, and then their stuff prints and maintains that confidentiality that they need.
Does that information stay in-house? In other words, the vendor can't come in and download the disk off of.
Correct. Correct.
Is there any more questions?
But they handle all the maintenance and repair.
Yes, this includes maintenance agreement.
Does that include any supplies, like toner?
Yes.
Is it a regularly scheduled, or does it go, give us a call?
Right now, I believe we're working on it broke, give us a call. However, I don't believe, but that is because we are working with machines that are ancient, that have 5 million and 7 million copies. And I believe this would have more of a regular maintenance program.
Any further questions?
I guess we need good equipment to run efficiently.
Absolutely.
Well, I think this saves from, all the machines we have like that, right? They have that different stuff from different places all the time, and ordering this and that, or all these different, we don't have the same copier and anything in our home facility. This is a huge company, it's a huge, multi-million-dollar company, and they just give us all these different I think that this, we should run to our business and tell them, you know, turn around, look at this and how they're putting their number in, we're doing this, and we're gonna have copies of one of the folks. That's how much I think, that's what I think. If anybody wishes to make a motion on this, the proper equipment and software for your use.
I will interject one more thing.
Oh, there is one more thing.
One more quick thing. The company that has been doing our service actually with some of our copiers, they're old enough that they no longer make parts, and parts are not available for them. They have to go to the used market and find stuff in order and take it off other equipment in order to repair our current machines because they're that old.
In other words, you gotta go to the boneyard.
They do. They go to the boneyard and they find what they can find and get it fixed. They no longer make parts for some of our stuff.
So are
that's
you trying to push us to accept this, or
what I'm trying to say is we have old equipment that needs to be replaced, one way, shape, or form.
Okay, well, you're saying I'm old, I need to be replaced, okay, I get it.
If that's how you took it.
Because I
that's
don't
how
think I have parts for me anymore. Okay, so if anybody wants to make a motion,
We just kick in.
When does it take
If
effect?
we say yes on this, when will we start doing that?
Well, we will sign the contract tomorrow, and as soon as he can get it on hand, he will have them here. So,
Sounds like a need.
Then I'd like to make a motion to whatever this is called.
okay, about your equipment, software for your use.
Software 3-year lease.
There we go, Mr. Dowdy has made a motion for the copy of equipment, software for your lease. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Case has made a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All against? Motion passes. Now we move on to the wheelchair accessible bus purchase. Mr. McKean, I know we're going to throw this back to you again because that's what we put them on the roll like that.
let's say, I guess this is me again. So we have several buses, as it says in your agenda, several buses that are reaching into their mechanical life. And when they break down, we end up having to combine routes and put more kids on buses than what they should be getting on. One of those buses is our sped bus that has the wheelchair accessible portion to it. And we are able to get one from RWC. They are actually already having in the pipeline being made. And so we were able to jump on that and get one to us by December is when they're expecting shipment of those. And so this is asking for your approval to purchase this bus. It's a 44-passenger bus with a wheelchair lift and would replace our, I think it's a 26-passenger bus with a wheelchair lift that has a failing engine. That bus, if we were just to replace the engine, was going to cost us over $26,000 alone to replace the engine. And we would still have a 15-year-old bus with all the other.
A non-working wheelchair access.
What's that?
So, and it would be just the engine,
That would be just replacing the engine.
incorporating the wheelchair accessibility.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
I'm sorry. So
So just for the wheelchair accessibility, you're just talking about the engine for the wheelchair accessibility.
yeah, if we have a wheelchair accessible bus, if we just replace the engine in that bus, we would still have a 15-year-old bus, wheelchair accessible bus with the engine. And it's still got other problems with it also. So this would replace that and allow us to start moving forward and getting some new buses in our fleet. This can be funded out of the SR3 grant, and so that is how we would be purchasing this bus.
Any questions? Gentlemen?
Because this is wheelchair capable, does that mean are we restricted for our routes for that?
Yes.
Have a brand new bus that we on the road.
Yes, our wheelchair accessible buses for our students with that type of transportation on their IEP.
There are other seats, so they can pick up other students, not just wheelchair students. So there are seats for regular students also.
We're on the route, and students on it, and the hour and a half transportation, a lot of it is over. Half of those 44 seats we use. We've got a big brand new bus that only a small portion of the seats, but we've got access.
we transport a lot of students for sped.
We have a lot
On the
we can
same.
fill that bus.
On the same line.
Oh, yeah.
We can fill that bus very.
Oh, yeah, I can feel that. Okay.
Make sure that it wasn't all that.
No, we're lucky we can get the kids where we got it going right now. I mean, we're having to borrow buses in order to get kids home. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
We also will be purchasing, we're looking at the purchase of some other buses that are full-size, just regular student buses going forward also. This is just the first purchase, one that was actually available to us from our LEC immediately, so it's one we want to move forward quickly on.
This is also a bus that broke down on us a couple of years ago. We had to borrow the wheelchair accessible bus from the Eloy School District to get our students to school while that was being repaired.
I see it's got a camera system on it, it's got 500 hard drive. Okay, that's going to be the next question. How big is it? How easy is it to back up and share really good or only on the law suite?
I can't speak directly on how frequently they dump it, but they do access it quite frequently on the buses to check on things and make sure things are going well. So they do have access to that fairly easily.
Any other questions? If there are no other questions, I'm asking someone to give us a motion for the wheelchair accessible bus purchase.
I'll motion we approve the wheelchair accessible bus purchase.
All right, Mr. Casey, so we need a motion to approve the wheelchair accessible bus purchase. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Mr. Dowdy, you make a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All against? Motion is passed. We now move on to the district substitute teacher. You don't have to talk about this. We'll just move on over. Right.
Our paraprofessionals have been used excessively to cover classrooms. This is not a good practice. And it's not only not a good practice, but it is negatively impacting morale for these employees. And so it's not in the best interest of the district to cover classrooms with paraprofessionals. And so it's in the best interest of the district to hire 3 employees to serve as district substitute teachers. These employees will obtain a substitute certification, report to duty on a daily basis, and earn $30,000 a year. They'll be used as needed.
So that's a huge loss instead of where.
Correct. Our current situation is we contract with Educational Services Incorporated, which I actually believe you're a part of. Those subs have the opportunity to say, no, I don't want to work today. Yes, I do want to work today. This would give us full-time subs that would be here every single day and allow us to have somebody accessible to the class, for the classes that we need them.
Comparatively to this $90,000 a year, what do we spend on subs now? There's 2 portions. There's the, oh my God, we're going to suck factor and the cost of money. But with this one, we need much more important. So what are we spending on subs?
Well, we've only had 1 sub this whole year, am I right?
I believe there's 2.
There's 2 now. We had 1 for last year that was available when we reopened. Now we have 2, so the sub availability is hardly anything. We don't have people we don't have options.
Okay.
This is more expenditure, but we because of the shortage of substitute teachers, we would be utilizing ESSER grants, COVID grants to cover these expenditures also in order to offset that and not put it into our budget.
How big of a factor would you say the low amount of these substitutes is? In fact, we can't get them.
When we looked into what we pay subs, we were comparable with other districts. We looked at that a couple years, maybe about a year ago. and we were comparable. Right there in the ballpark park, COVID has negatively impacted sub availability. We had quite a few subs, but now we have, we had one, and now we have two. And when they are signed up with ESA is what, when they are signed up with ESI, they're also used by other districts. So we're like sharing one sub with other school districts. So it's less than one, less than two.
I guess I'm wondering if $30,000 here, but if we went down to two permanent and one on call, and increase the amount paid for on-call substitute, that would automatically generate a larger pool.
These employees, these district substitute teachers will not be working for ESI, they will be working for us. And that's for the remainder of this school year, and we'll see how things go, because we're gonna pay for it with ESSER funds, but we are in a bind right now with class coverages. So we could actually use more than 3 on most days.
Okay. In other words, we'll be able to use these teachers no matter what. This pay will be for someone who's working here every day. Okay.
And making more than on-call substitute.
But when you're on call, you get to pick and choose which days you're gonna work, so it depends on how many days you work, what district you work for, how much you make in a day.
And that's where competition is. I guess. Wouldn't it be better served for us, people prefer to come down here because we keep them higher than $10 an hour.
They're paid by the day, and we did look at that, but, right now, there's just not subs available. We're just not there.
It's not just our district that's struggling with subs, it's statewide. It's not just our district that is struggling with getting subs, it's statewide. It's everybody is struggling to get people to come in.
And it's not like they're choosing to go to District A because they're making $130
It's kind of like fishing in a well, and it's got no fishing. So, yeah, there's nothing there.
Okay. That was that side of the balance. We don't have it.
And I heard this discussed by different people, even at the law conference. Not as much brought up so much at the law conference, but I heard people off on the side saying just that we can't get anybody. There's nobody. When I talk about more now, people talking to one another, and this was what was coming up. This was a lot of people talking about. You couldn't find a substitute teacher if you wanted to.
Okay. Thank you all for the discussion.
All right, now I guess we move on to the all important part. Do we approve this motion? District substitute teachers.
I make a motion that we approve
The district substitute teacher.
yes, district substitute teachers.
Very good, sir. Mr. Gray has graciously made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Courtwright has made a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All against? Motion is passed. Trying to get that on solid. Okay, now we're moving on to G, respect responsibility readiness class.
Part of the law conference and part of our policies updated is new law. There's a revised statute 15-8 43K makes it more difficult to suspend students in kindergarten through grade 4. It's not impossible, it's just more difficult. But we do have students in these grade levels who are unruly to the point of severely disrupting the learning environment. So instead of instituting an in-school suspension program, I'm asking for your approval to begin a respect and responsibility readiness class where students are taught respect and responsibility skills to equip them to be better ready to succeed in their classrooms. This would be one classroom for the whole entire district. We would just have to transport students that would need to learn these skills in this classroom, and we can transport them to wherever the classroom is put into place.
What would qualify student be in this?
They have been disrupting the learning environment and have been not disobedient to the school rules and would ordinarily be suspended. So instead of suspending them, we will put them in the class and try to teach them some skills that will help them be successful.
Because ordinarily you would suspend kids who are doing the things that these kids are doing, and because of the fact that you can't do it, it's very difficult to do that. It's better to take them out of the class, because your class will only be as good as the worst kid in the class, if you understand what I'm saying. You can't learn anything if you have such great disruption as a child who is actually going through and possibly destroying the classes. You know, it shouldn't be.
When you say that, when I asked about the qualifications, there's something like points or something, how would you say John or Susie gets into this class because they were bad in this class more than something else?
Oh, sir, we have a discipline matrix that the administrators follow, and that determines what the consequences are.
I feel that with this new law, making more stringent, it's expanded. We need this.
Yes, because we're not, this isn't like one of those schools where, you know, we're a public school, where there are other schools out there that just, these kids will just be set down, because that's just what we say, okay? So then we move on to public schools. In the public schools, we're just disrupted, and even worse, and that's why other schools can do so much better than you can, because the worst kid in class is as good as the best at that. That's the best you can do, because they're so disruptive. I'm just throw it out there. My daughter said there's just one kid in class that just couldn't get rid of it. And she didn't even go to work. She was having struggle. And this way, it kind of alleviates the pain from the children in there. What I always said before, I'm looking for the kids. The kids in the class are the most important thing we have here. And for me, you know, and even these kids are being disrupted, we need to take care of them too. And if we can teach them better manners, well, then
It's the surface part of it. The part I'm worried about, or the part I think is protects us from, is somebody saying, well, you, this child got in because of your prejudice, or this teacher doesn't like him. But if all kids are put in the same category and judged by their restrictions or rating.
there is a rating on side. I know it is now. It's the same thing we have. It's similar to the one we have, like teachers. You are expected to be this way, you know. And, you know, little mistakes are okay, you know, that's what everybody does, and everybody makes a small mistake. But we're talking about kids who continually, and they run through this grading, and by the time they hit this bottom rung, we usually hear about it, and we usually suspect it. But in this case, we're not allowed to suspend, or it's very difficult to suspend, and it's a win-win situation for the kids in the class and the kids who are doing that. We can go someplace and we talk something and no one.
And we're showing that we thought we had a good process to do this, so another good job.
It is not teacher assigned, and that in the first year as an assistant principal for the school year started, we've got the discipline matrix together for consistency, so that there were, you know, infractions and responses to these infractions that are aligned with state law and the safe report that we are required to do.
You're welcome.
I think, a guideline, would be that they qualify to be suspended and qualify.
Yes, some of them would have been sent home, but we sent to this class because we not sending them home because of the updated law. And this would be better for them than being sent home because some parents are very, if a child breaks the rules of school, gets referral, they get some consequences at home, and then other parents are not there to make sure that consequences are carried out, then the child's left to their own devices. So I think it's better for them to stay in school, and absolutely better if they can learn some respect and responsibilities.
Do we have any more discussion? So, as you respect and responsibility written in this class, do I have a motion?
I move to approve the respect and responsibility readily in this class.
Mr. Casey, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Do I, we have Mr. Dowdy has made a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All against? Motion passes. Okay, we move on to each out of school training.
This is before you again, I did attempt to schedule training within the district, and even a conscious school district would have joined in, but that is impossible to even get set up. So in the meantime, you do have a turnover in personnel. Rachel Yant is still there at TBS, but Jay Betchel will be coming into ACES, and as some of these moves from ACES to the district office. And so this is just for you to approve Ms. Yant and Ms. Betchel to attend Howard School University in Alabama, scheduled in February 2022.
Questions? Now, one thing is that we spoke before about the idea that which classes they should attend, because if not, there are more than just there's more than just one class by everybody, place to place to place. And do we have an agenda of classes?
No, in the board meeting held in August, this item was on the agenda, and Bill Doherty motioned for the secretaries to attend training in Florida with consultation with Principal Huffman on courses. And once they get enrolled, I'm sure they'll get an agenda with the courses available.
And I'm sure that the principal and vice president can come up with an agenda on the agenda. Point them in the direction that we need, that what we need. And I don't know how many people can see how I think important this is. This is just because it is not easy working with this information that they have. One person I know that's really good at it is Rachel Yant, and the thing about that stuff. She's very good. I know her, and I know relationships, and her, I'm sure that the other lady would be just as good at it. I don't know her as well. I do Rachel to top the line, who do exactly what she's supposed to do. She's very smart.
So we asked for two things. One was that they would give us a list of classes which we already addressed, that they didn't actually have this, right? Or which courses they would do.
Generally speaking, once you're registered for the conference, then you get your agenda, what days, this, that.
Okay, understood.
This is called the Power School University. So it's offered, I believe, 3 times during the school year. And,
You tried to see if they offered scheduled training with the female test, and they would go on.
I can't even speak to anybody. There's no phone number to call. No one answers any phone calls. So they sent me, in a very timely fashion, a survey to fill out. I filled it out, and I gave them, low points in customer service, and told them I was trying to reach someone, but still nothing.
Okay.
Outside Power School training, we might have a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the out-of-state power school training.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Dudley has made a motion, Mr. Forsythe has seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All against? Motion died. Now we move on to I, the online teachers stipend.
In order for Total Online Live to be most successful, it would be best to employ 3 teachers to teach online with grade levels divided up K1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This divides them up as more in line with what the expected academic standards are, making it more feasible for a teacher to be successful. On this agenda, you approve the hire of an online teacher for grades 6, 7, and 8. We do have a teacher in place for the younger grades, and we're currently short due to the resignation of 2 teachers. But another online teacher has been hired and will begin teaching. But we've got one teacher, Michelle Collins, who teaches a 2nd and 3rd grade combo class at TES, who's assisting by teaching classes that are not currently covered by an online teacher. And so this action agenda item has 2 parts to the recommended action. Approve the hire of 3 teachers for Toltec Online Live for students and families choosing to continue learning in the home environment, and approve the stipend of $500 a week for Michelle Collins, who teaches a 2nd and 3rd combo class at TES and is teaching online, and not currently have enough teachers to cover all grade levels. That's the recommended action, and that's what I'm asking for approval. We started this school year out with 1 online teacher. The intention was to have 2 online teachers, but the 2nd teacher that Misty was trying to hire, the principal took a job at another school district, so we only had 1. And we didn't know how many students we'd have, and we see now that we do need 3 teachers.
Any question on budget?
Yeah, this is another area where this is funded from ESSER, from the COVID money, ESSER 3, so it won't be a problem.
So, how much extra do you pay for how many years?
She'll be teaching the 4, 5, 6, no, 3, 4, 5, sorry. We might have the first teacher go ahead and continue teaching K-3 and just have her teach 2. She'll have at least 2 grade levels. The only way she's able to be successful is that she's very, very good at this, and she has all her lessons still recorded from last year. So that's the only way she's able to multitask. But you can see when we get to the next 3 items, or the next 2 items, that the online teaching position has not been easy on our teachers. And this would be until we can find another teacher to hire.
Any other questions? So this is two parts, online teachers and stipend. So we're looking forward to having the free teachers for K through 2, 3 through 5, 6 through 8, and also the stipend for 500 for this Collins. Is that understood? Does anybody want to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion. We approve online teachers and staff.
Very good. I have a motion made by Mr. Gregg. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Case, who's made a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All against? Motion passed. Now we move on to J.
Amanda Jazinski resigned from her teaching position, and she was teaching on Toltec Online. She had been approved for retirement on October 15th. She was unable to fulfill her obligations until her presumed retirement date due to health issues related to the stress of teaching all the grade levels online. Since we're just beginning, we only had her as the one teacher, and we only had a small number of students. And she was responsible for all students online from kindergarten through 8th grade. This responsibility proved to be too much for her. I believe it began with 8 or 9 students. So it wasn't a huge amount, but it required a huge amount of time, because if you have, whichever, all the grade levels you have to go in and get into that curriculum and do, so it required so much time. By the time this came to my attention, she was already, her health, she had health issues, and she felt like she was forced to resign before her retirement date. She did so regrettably. I did call her in for a meeting, and she was, she felt very sorry that she couldn't continue. There were several factors in the health area, which I understood. And as soon as it came to my attention, I brought forward to you guys to hire a paraprofessional, which we did. And then, we were looking at looking at what it looked like, hiring more teachers, and we hired another teacher, but it just wasn't, it just wasn't timely enough for her health issues. So I'm asking you to approve her resignation, and then as per consensus, either waive the contracted liquidated damages or hold the teacher responsible for the $2,000 of liquidated damages as per signed contract.
We understand this is the online teacher resignation of Ms. Brzezinski, and we're looking for liquidated damages. This is not as a penalty, $2,000. If someone wishes to make a motion,
Approve the resignation and either waive the penalty or hold her responsible.
I would make a motion to release the resignation.
all right, then we have Mr. Downey has made a motion to accept her resignation and waive liquidated damages. Do I have a second?
I'm sorry. How is this, just on the side, is this negatively affecting retirement? She's going to retire in retirement.
Right. So, no, it doesn't.
Okay.
Excellent. And Mr. Corbett has made a second. All in favor, say aye. All against? Motion passes. We now move on to K, Toltec Online.
My teacher, unfortunately, when she was first hired to teach this year, she began in a special education class on the Toltec Elementary School campus. On her first day, her foot was broken due to a student becoming unruly. This was in a special needs classroom. And administration made the decision to assign Ms. Fields to teaching online classes since she was unable to drive a broken foot and she needed time at home to heal. The task of teaching several grade levels online proved to be too much for Ms. Fields. It resulted in serious health issues related to the stress of the position.
Again, with health issues, it's very difficult. And this is something unforeseen. I can't imagine doing this myself because I've never been a teacher. I mean, I've taught classes, but I've never been a teacher myself, especially online. If I have to do that, I've got health issues myself. So we are now requesting that Ms. Fields' resignation be accepted and no damages, no penalty of $2,000. So again, he's asking that. Does anybody wish to make a motion or ask a question?
I'll motion to approve the resignation with liquidated damages.
Mr. Casey has made a motion. Any second?
I'll second.
Mr. Corbett has made a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All against? Motion passed. Moving on to high school.
Carrie Barros has resigned from her position as grade 4 teacher on the Toltec Elementary School campus. She was hired as a teacher who is not appropriately certified, and she thus feels she's not responsible for the $2,000 in liquidated damages. But in this time of teacher shortages, we have been unable to find appropriately certified teachers for all of our teaching positions. And so bring your attention to policy GCBA in the section emergency teacher hiring and certification, which addresses this issue. So in the event of a teacher shortage, we are indeed have the right to hire teachers that do not hold appropriate certifications. Of course, all these teachers are put on a corrective action plan and held accountable. Teamed with a peer mentor and support to be successful in the classroom.
So in other words, if she quit right now, she would just avoid that, always because of the fact she wasn't certified.
She didn't worry about it. Oh, the penalty.
Yeah, she didn't realize the actual law that we have now, that she could be, the district at $2,000 for liquidated damages, and have a penalty for her leaving. She thought because she wasn't certified, but the law does state that she can be charged with $2,000 for liquidated damages. Is there health issues? Is there any other reason? Is there any reason why she should not get liquidated damages?
In the resignation letter, she says, please accept this letter as my formal resignation from my position of teaching in Toltec Elementary School. I am resigning from my current role of teacher and hereby give you notice. My last day of teaching will be September 9, 2021. I am resigning from my role because we are moving out of the area due to a change in family circumstances. I have thoroughly enjoyed teaching and miss the staff and the children alike. I would finally like to thank you for the experience you have given me working as a teacher.
So she has made a choice to leave. It is not something that came on. She thought about this, she knew about this, and so I think she should be charged with 2,000.
Yeah, I don't think it falls on the other two that weren't issues. That's a very big story.
This is someone who made a choice. These others did not make a choice. And when someone making a choice, then this is what's going to become of her with that choice, at least in my case, what I did. So, if someone wishes to make a motion, but I believe that we will accept the resignation on the fact that we get these damages of $2,000, and I would do it. So, Lyndon Creighton has made a motion. Does anybody second it? All right. Mr. Gray is the second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All against? Motion passes. We move on to 7. Closing the meeting. Sorry.
Did we skip the call from Harvard?
No,
What happened?
we did receive.
I said I didn't have any paperwork.
Paperwork.
I didn't sign in.
There's a particular policy with the paper we fill out and hand it to me, and then we have so-and-so that wants to speak on such and such a topic. They're always there with people, that kind of back there.
Okay.
Now we run on to 7, closing the meeting. And we move to 8, which is the all important next meeting. Next meeting date normally the 11th, second Monday in October, but that's during fall break. So if we're looking at this, we do like we had this last time, we went to the end, and we'll be on the 25th. Provide a full week of fall break compared to October meeting. Because during October meeting, fall break is stuff I'm doing stuff with my daughter. And she's doing volleyball, so that out there. I'm going to try not to miss too much when she does volleyball. So, and that's when she's having during spring break. So, win, lose, or draw. I vote we go for the 25th, but I'll defer.
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine.
I'm okay with that.
We're all in agreement with the 25th. Sounds good.
I want to say thank you to Tim McCain for doing AFR so quickly, because it was due by the 15th, and he already got it done, so we didn't have to have an emergency meeting, so thank you.
Good job, Tim.
Thank you.
Because I was there and we were looking on it. If I recall.
On the 25th, we here, school district opened up the office.
It's always posted, but the district office will be finished during fall break, so we don't have any place set right now. I guess we haven't had very many attending. I don't know if we want to continue as a board holding the meetings at the different schools, or we're here this time where we planned on being at TDS, but TDS has one of their commissioners out, so we're here. So it can, change over. It's always posted on the agenda. So, but as a board, would you rather have them at the schools or in the district office? The feedback that I've gotten, most people during this time of COVID are watching online. And the feedback that I receive is that when we hold them in the schools, they can't hear as well. So when we hold them in the district office, they can hear much better, so if we keep them.
And not that many people do. So the possibility of being back at the district office is very great. So if anybody wishes to attend at that time, it will be posted in case anything else happens.
Yeah, it's always, the place of the meeting is always included in on the agenda when it's posted and made public.
I just need to be able to schedule how many minutes I'll be late.
All right. So now we move on to the adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Gates has made a motion. And you second?
I'll second.
All right. Mr. Gray has made a second. All in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. All against? Motion passes. Thanks, gentlemen, for a good evening, good night.